All right. Hello, health heads. Welcome and thank you for checking in to this dose of the Healthcare Uprising. I'm your producer in the back, Jeremy Carr, here with your host in the front row, Heather Pierce. So, what's on our agenda for today, Heather?
Today we're going to have Dr. Tiffany Ryan on. She is sharing. This is kind of an interesting conversation, right? She's authored two books. She is a doctor of social work. She is a professor. She has her massage clinic. So she actually got, certified in massage. And she also went through a very tragic and traumatic loss of her oldest son, who died by suicide, July of 2024. And she talks so most of the episode, we're really diving into her use of psychedelics in her mental health, her trauma, her PTSD therapy, and support through dealing with the loss of her son. And so that's really where we're going to spend most of the time, is talking about the use of psychedelics, why they're so effective, and really how they have essentially changed her entire life. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
This might be one of the very rare occasions on this podcast where know more about the subject matter than you do going into it.
Oh, not may, you do and did.
All right.
100%.
My time to shine.
Yeah,
Without
it is.
further ado, let's get into our conversation with Dr. Tiffany Ryan.
Hi, and welcome to the Healthcare Uprising podcast. Today we have Dr. Tiffany Ryan with us on the show today. Welcome, Tiffany, Dr. Tiffany Ryan.
Yes, thank you. I'm
uh,
excited to have this conversation.
yeah, we're going to talk about a few things today. So, which is why I didn't really say who you're with or an organization. Um, I think really our conversation today is going to be really unique. And also want to mention that we know each other. I was I was just sharing
It's
which
because you know everybody.
I do. I know a lot of people. I like people. Especially in healthcare. So, yeah, we go back to what, like 2015-ish, right in
Yes.
there, I think we figured out. Um, I'll spare the rest of the audience the details. Just know that we are we're friends.
Known each other a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, let's jump right in. So we are, and I want to mention too, we're going to talk about use of psychedelics for
Mhm.
mental health therapy, trauma. We're going to talk about some of your personal journey through loss and trauma. Obviously you're a doctor as well. You've written a couple of books. So we're going to cover some area today, I think. And so with that, I just introduce yourself. Tell us kind of what has brought you to this moment, and any kind of background or personal stuff you want to share to kind of set the
Yeah,
foundation here.
I'll give some of my professional background because I do think it does play a role in how I view psychedelics and how I've been using them myself. But yeah, I have my bachelor's, master's, and PhD in social work, and I have largely done macro level social work, running organizations, and state programs, as well as being a social work professor. So I did that for a long time until, well, I did two things at once. I was still a social work professor, and I started a company called Yo Massage here in Portland, Oregon. That was after I actually went to get my massage training and yoga teacher training, after I got my PhD and, been a professional in that world, which is a little backwards for some people. But um, yeah, so I founded this company, and we have a modality, and it's called Yo Massage, where we combine restorative stretch, meditation, and therapeutic touch. So I have the kind of research, more clinical background in social work, but I also have this kind of alternative health mindset and experience. So I just kind of want to lay the foundation with that. But yeah, I guess leading up to my psychedelic use, my family moved to Portland in, when was that? We had just done some traveling. We moved to Portland in 2018, I believe.
Which I
And
I enjoyed your social media. Was it Dessert First?
Yes, dessert first.
Living on the boat. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, we left Flagstaff and moved onto a sailboat for a year and then moved to Costa Rica where I did my massage and yoga training.
Yeah.
And then came to Portland. So,
Yeah.
um yeah, but I we moved here and the kids went back into their normal life. Suburban, I mean, kind of suburbia. Portland's a little less suburbia than some places, but and my oldest son, Noah, was struggling with mental health. I don't think I knew the extent of it. Well, I know I didn't know the extent of it. But I would say, was it maybe 5 months? So he died last summer. And I would say 5 months before he passed, he asked me if he could use psychedelics, if he could do
Oh.
mushrooms. And I knew nothing about it. This was not my wheelhouse at all. And I had never used them myself. And so, I was like, could we start with something easier, like alcohol or weed or
Right.
And little did I know, I think that had already happened, but I, just didn't know. But I bring that up because we ended up putting him on antidepressants,
Hmm.
Wellbutrin. And that is what he used to take his life. He overdosed on Wellbutrin.
Oh, I did not realize that specifically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And like 2 weeks prior, he had missed a few days of taking it and was saying he was feeling really bad. He was worried about
Mm.
himself. And, I don't know how much you know about antidepressants and whatnot, but many of them, if you miss a couple days, especially when you're a youth,
Hmm.
under 18, it impacts you in such a way where it does increase suicidal thoughts and tendencies. And so,
This is all new to me, and I've
hmm,
learned, quite honestly, I've learned so much about it just from you sharing your
good.
journey since Noah left us. So I just I've been thank you, honestly. Like I think that's why I've like really loved engaging with your posts on social. You've been so open about the journey in such a really kind of a really beautiful way. It really has brought us into kind of your story. Um, and I look at my kids differently now. I
Yeah.
100% because of you. So
Well,
thanks.
yeah, and thanks to Noah because his life and death is very meaningful and will continue to be meaningful. And I'm not letting my grief or what happened go to like I don't know if the right word is waste, but like I want it to be impactful forever. And so I am very open about what has happened because because we're not alone. We're
Right.
not alone. And yeah, I just think it's really important for us to be real, have real conversations, 'cause Noah didn't, I think, feel like he had the platform to have a real
Hmm.
conversation. And yeah, so I look back. So I guess I'll kind of go into I discovered Noah not alive, and I had a lot of trauma around that.
I'm
I was
sure.
diagnosed with PTSD. I like to say now I have symptoms of it still. I don't love like labels like that where it's like I have PTSD, but I do continue to have some symptoms, but the psychedelic work has really helped me. And if I'm being really honest, I don't know if I would be alive if I hadn't gone this path.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it's
That's big.
it's huge, and that's why I'm such an up. I'm not quiet about it. I'm not quiet because it saves lives. It has saved my life,
Yeah.
and I wonder what it would have done for Noah, if I had been
Mm,
open to it. But
right.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
and you mentioned too, and that he overdosed on his own antidepressant. Like, What does that tell us? This comes up a lot in the show, right, Jeremy? Like so many times that we bring and we talk about the mix of clinical versus kind of alternative, more like holistic therapies and things like that. And psychedelics, use of psychedelics, huge, growing, I think, and that it's always been, well, you just take a pill, right? And that's the answer. And it's not, and just
Yeah.
being more open-minded to these things. And you don't know what you don't know, obviously, but
Well, exactly. And, I had a lot of guilt and shame around not knowing more as a social work professor. I mean, come on, like, how did I not know more about? I mean, my work was never clinical. But still, it's like, how did I not realize the damage that this medication could do? And also just, so I wrote one of the books I wrote is called Soul Work, A Field Guide to Freedom. And the point of that book is that we have to do the deep work. It is not about taking the pill. Like, if
Mhm.
you don't do the deep work, you are going to stay stuck in whatever it is that's ailing you. And it's really hard to do the deep work. And I remember when people would say that, like, I'm doing the work, or like after my divorce, I'm doing the work. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? What does doing the work mean? I don't
Mm.
understand what that means. And but now I'm like, oh, I kind of get it. I think I think the work is really facing yourself, really facing your fears and your stories you tell yourself, and psychedelics help you to do that. They help you, they build capacity for you to do that, because
Mm.
often we're not resourced enough to even face those things. It's too much. It's just too much. We can't handle it. And so that's one of the things I love. And I thought, when my PTSD was really severe for a while, where I just was like, I have to get out of my brain. I cannot live in this brain. Like, I just wanted to claw my brain out of my body, and I didn't know how to even dip my toe into dealing with it. People would say EMDR or, whatever, like therapies. And EMDR was re traumatizing for me at that point. It was way too soon. I tried it. It
What
was
is
way,
EMDR?
it's eye movement. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
We're
yeah.
gonna have somebody
We
come
heard
on.
about this in a recent interview,
It
actually.
keeps coming up.
It
Yeah,
does keep coming up.
I've got
And
somebody coming on to talk.
it is
Yep.
a useful, effective practice, but I would say for immediate trauma, it is not.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to have some distance from the event or the thing that you're dealing with.
And can I ask you a quick question too, just back up too? Did you after this all happened, right? I mean, it was July of last year, correct? I think, right
Yes.
when you
Hmm.
lost him. Did you go and see somebody immediately? Where like,
Yes.
okay, so you went in, you're like, I need, like, you
I
had the
need
wherewithal to be like, okay, right here, I absolutely need something. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't function. Yeah, I
Yeah.
needed help. I needed
Yeah.
help.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. That's not
And
something you go through alone.
No, no, I wouldn't think so, but I honestly, I've seen people not. So like not go to
me
get help.
too. And like in
So,
a lot of
And then they have to deal with it forever.
mhm,
in the grieving moms forums that I'm a part of, our grieving parents, a lot of people go directly onto medication and are sedated. And I see why. I mean,
mhm,
I can get it, like I wanted to be too, but I didn't want any foreign substance in my body because I know that Noah was smoking weed and had drank before he
mhm.
took his life. And it made me feel sick to my stomach to even think about having anything in my system. And so, and that he overdosed on his antidepressant. So I was like, no effing way am I gonna
Yeah.
put anything like that in my body. And yeah, so I think I was in a situation where I just was like, I have to figure out how to deal with this.
Mhm.
And I have two other children, and so I had to figure out how to function. It
Yeah.
wasn't an option for me to just, I don't
Shut
know.
down. Yeah.
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 Um,
Okay. So you got the diagnosis with PTSD and then you started going down I'm assuming you probably were on some sort of antidepressants, et cetera, but then no, nothing.
no,
You didn't do that at all,
no,
No,
ever.
not after
no.
that.
Okay. Okay. So you were like nothing. When I say nothing in my body, you were like 100% no, I'm going to figure this out. And
So,
that's
Yep.
okay.
so what steered you toward the psychedelics then?
Yeah.
So, in Portland, psilocybin is legal. There are treatment centers where you can go and receive therapeutic psilocybin treatment, and ketamine as well. I don't know if
Mhm.
ketamine's legal in other places, or I know it
We
is in
we have
some.
it here.
Yeah, we've done a few episodes on
Our first
ketamine. Yeah.
couple of our or a few of our first handful of episodes are all about ketamine.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, well, and actually this is sort of it's funny, not funny, but interesting story and how I was led to it. So several of Noah's friends' moms were like naturopaths or, kind of in this more holistic world. And they were telling me like, consider psychedelics. And I was like, oh, interesting. And so I started researching it and I actually got signed up to do ketamine therapy with a naturopath that was recommended. But then I, my son's, well, so the immediate therapist I went to do EMDR right after this happened, um, she ended up saying she couldn't work with me because it was too much for her emotionally. And so when I had to relive through EMDR, you have to kind of relive the scenario. It was very traumatizing for her. And she ended up seeing my other son later on. So I was still in contact with her. And when I was talking to her about his treatment and what we could do next for him, she said, after I saw you, I needed a little bit of help. And I went to see this person for psychedelic work, and he's
Oh,
underground.
wow.
Yeah. This person was underground because MDMA is the thing that's primarily recommended for PTSD and trauma. It provides this kind of like softness or buffer from reliving the trauma. You relive it, but there's like a softness so you can.
Mm.
And so he did these. He used MDMA and a lot of different things. So I ended up seeing him actually about my son. My son did not end up doing that work at all, but I was like, maybe I want to do this instead of ketamine. And so that's how I entered in. And he,
Okay.
yeah.
And I think generally it's a similar effect that you're getting because it's all about ego dissolution. That softness you're talking about. This is what Dr. Casey talked about in
Hmm.
episode 3 with the ketamine. It's an ego dissolution agent. It allows you to kind of detach from
Mhm.
yourself and look at your problems objectively without the emotion, without the judgment, without all the existing traumas that came before it, all that stuff. It gives you a clear vision of your own problems so that you can actually like face them and deal with them and figure out how to fix them in a real way
Right.
without losing yourself in the emotion and losing yourself in the memories and things like that is
Yeah.
really what the psychedelics are doing for you in that case, as far as what I know about the whole thing.
And MDMA is not considered a classic psychedelic. There's not, hallucinations or anything, or like, visual changes or anything like
Okay.
that. But what MDMA did is, and I've used it multiple times. I've done four formal journeys. I would also include some of the breath work I've done as like it feels as it's the same thing as psychedelic
Oh,
work.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I've also done combo, which is like it's a Amazon frog poison, which I can talk about separately.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's new.
I've not heard of that one. So,
Yeah. I've
They
done
got some
all this
cool
stuff.
toads in the rainforest, man.
yeah.
But yeah, what MDMA did specifically is it would bring me back to a memory, and it takes you straight, like I don't even know where I'm gonna go. And then it takes me straight to
Mm.
where I need to go.
Mm.
And I'll revisit something and then I'll just have a huge somatic release about it. So like my first session, I literally gave birth to my grief for Noah. Like I was having contractions and
Mm.
birth like birthing this grief, and it was huge somatic release. It was horror. I would repeat things uh, that had been kind of ingrained in my head, like I was so scared, I didn't know where you went, I'm so sorry, like whatever.
Hmm.
And then my whole body would just kind of relax, and I would have this understanding of it all, this compassion for myself, for the situation, like a bigger picture. And that one was so beautiful because I found Noah. I kept saying, I found him. Oh my God, I can feel him I can feel his energy
Mm,
inside of my body.
that's wild.
I felt his energy and I was like, I just kept saying, I found him. Oh my God, thank God I found him because I didn't know where he went and I was so scared. And that was transformational for me. Transformational, you know?
God, I'm like, can,
Yeah. I mean, and I have a million stories like that from my journeys, that these huge ahas. And Noah will
mhm,
talk to me specifically with MDMA about things that happen here on Earth, like surrounding his death. And so I will have these insights into what that was like for him.
mm,
Or, yeah. So that's MDMA, and then I have used that at the beginning of some other journeys, just because I have told my guide, I'm like, I just really love it because I don't feel like I have the capacity to feel physically, to have the somatic releases without it. Like, I need this kind of supportive container for it, and I get the messages from Noah, and so I really like that.
mm,
Um,
feel
and
connected.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But I don't know if you want to go through the different psychedelics I've used and how they've been helpful, or I don't, yeah.
I mean, I'm interested in all of it. So
Well, Heather doesn't really have experience with psychedelics
I have no experience with psychedelics.
because
I mean, I think I did mushrooms a couple of times when I was like in high school at like a Fish or Grateful
Yeah,
Dead show.
yeah. But I hadn't
That's
even done that. I had done nothing, like literally nothing up until this point. And so it was all
yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm fascinated by it. I'm absolutely terrified of it as well. But then I hear stories like this
well, I would
and
say this is what I have to say about it, because I'm not a proponent of just go to psychedelics. I'm not,
mhm.
because I think it can end up real bad if you
you
do
have
Yeah.
to know what you're doing with them. Yes, that's
Yeah.
very much a big disclaimer for anyone out there who hasn't gotten into this. Don't
Yes.
just go get a bunch of mushrooms and eat a handful of them. That is not what you do. Find
No.
someone who knows how it works and is respectful of the process
And it's
and
sacred.
have them help you through it the first couple times, and then you'll know.
Hmm.
Yeah. And this is what my guide tells me, that because after a couple journeys, I said, do you think I could do some on my own? And he said, well, you could, but I think you might be underwhelmed compared to what we've done, because when he's with me, we have 12 hours together. We go out to a dome in the woods. And
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, MDMA is not a short trip.
okay. I was going to ask,
It's
well,
like,
and
not a short trip.
I
how
do
does it?
rounds of it too. So I will
It's
take it like three
LSD
times
level.
throughout the day.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. My friend is literally right now on an ayahuasca retreat up in Utah for the next week.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
and that's not her first one. She's actually, I got to try to get her to come on the show and she uses it for different reasons, trauma, PTSD. She's a stroke survivor. So like stuff like with
Mhm.
brain trauma. But anyway, I love hearing about all of this. So it's 12
Yeah.
hours. I haven't heard that.
Well,
Okay.
some of it, I mean, it's a 12-hour, we have between 8 and 12 hours together, depending on what I'm doing. But
Okay.
it's a very sacred process and it's contained.
Mm,
And so he said, I feel safe enough to have all this stuff come up,
mhm,
right? Because I have him, I have a safe container, I know, generally
yeah.
what to expect with that. And so I think that is really important. And the other piece is I've met with him 4, 5, 6 times before a journey, and we're going through just emotional stuff.
Mhm,
We used IFS, internal family systems therapy, and some other somatic thing, some breath work or combo, the frog poison. And then we have the journey. And then I meet with him 4, 5, 6 times after to integrate, to take what came out of that and really process it. Um,
okay.
and
It's
so,
not that much different than Dr. Casey's process in his ketamine clinic,
Yeah.
honestly.
Okay.
You meet with
mhm,
them and figure it out, and then you do the course of treatments with the drug, and then you
Yeah.
follow up with the psychiatric treatments after, or figure out what it gave you and how to work with it.
And
Mhm.
is your guide, is he I mean, is he like a clinical psychologist? Like, do they have any kinds
Well,
of
he's underground, and so he can't be
Oh, that's
licensed.
right. You did say that. Okay.
Yeah. And so there are many. I actually have a
The real
meeting.
shaman don't get licensed.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
just the reality of the thing.
Right,
It
right.
is. And the thing too is, I mean, I'm glad that the psilocybin is legal here, but you have to do it in like an office building.
Mm,
And
That's no good.
that doesn't
mm-mm.
seem,
Outside in the woods, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
only
it's
way to do it.
very sterile and clinical. And I even if I was doing psilocybin, which is legal, I wouldn't do it legally because I don't want that environment, you know?
No.
So,
So it's
um,
only legal in the clinics.
yes.
Oh, I
Mhm.
gotcha.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
So it's not like
Yeah.
you can walk around on the street with it. It has to be in the clinic.
Well, you can and not get arrested unless it's over a certain amount here.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
everything's kind of decriminalized there, right?
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Portland's
Okay.
a different animal,
If it
but
didn't rain so much, I'd move there.
you know, yeah, it's pretty great in that way.
Would
And
put out all
now,
those big fires that are going on
Yeah.
there.
yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
A little bit of sarcasm there.
Yeah.
The invasion
Yeah,
of the
it's a war
inflatable
zone.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all on psilocybin. Everything's
Yeah.
hunky dory.
It is Portland. They might be. They might be.
Well, after my last journey, which was LSD, I was like, gosh, this actually should be in the water. Like, it's just such a loving drug, or like
Mm.
substance. I don't like using the word drug, but
Yeah.
yeah, we typically speak about this as medicine, right? These are
Hmm.
Hmm.
medicines. And yeah, but so I did my first journey was just MDMA and it was very somatic and I had these ahas. My second journey was I started with MDMA. I used a synthetic version of psilocybin. We call it psilocybin light, I guess. It's like C2B. I don't remember. It was a bunch of different letters and numbers combined. And then he did this specifically because he said it was a trauma informed approach to ego dissolution. So we could titrate it and kind of add, like, okay, we're going to start with this, and we're going to add a little of this, see what happens, and then I'll add a little of this and see
Whoa.
what happens. And so I ended up having an ego dissolution after just that, but I was stuck in it and I was really freaking out. And
Mm.
he then gave me a little bit of ketamine and it took me across. And I then was completely just dissolved into the one, which
Wow.
Okay.
was the most transformational experience I think I've had. And
That is quite the cocktail. That would
yeah,
be intense.
yeah,
And that was the whole birthing of your grief.
that
That
was the first journey. This is the second journey.
so this was a totally different, okay, another very transformational. This has been life-changing for you, is
uh,
what I'm
I
hearing.
mean,
Like without it.
because with that one, that journey showed me how everything is necessary, the light and the dark, the challenges, the joys, that how it all plays together and it just has to be that way. It all has
Mm,
to be that way. And psychedelics are hard to explain verbally, but that knowing inside of me has made this bearable.
mm,
Um, because it's just part of it. It's just
mhm,
part of like this is life. This is creation. Creation is that like churning, right? Like everything's changing and churning and feeding off each other. And I wouldn't know the depths of my love for Noah or my other children if I hadn't lost him. I wouldn't. I didn't. I thought
mm,
I knew. I did not know.
mm.
I did not know. Like,
That's wild.
yeah. And so that journey was my main takeaway from that one.
Hmm.
And I will sit with these for like 4, 5, 6 weeks and journal and write and think and just sit. Like your brain is malleable for 2 to 3 weeks after these journeys. So you can create new neural pathways. It's like they call it like a snow globe. So when you take a substance like this, it's like shaking a snow globe.
Hmm.
And now you can have like new patterns.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. I see what you're saying. It's almost like things are moving and creating space that maybe didn't didn't exist before you kind of shook it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's like with Jessica Tracy on the ketamine.
Mm,
Not Jessica Tracy, Lee. Lee Call, the patient who she watched her neural networks rebuild themselves behind
Yep.
while she was on the
during ketamine
during
sessions.
the ketamine sessions. Literally
That's
watching the neural pathways
it's,
stream through her own brain and
It's,
rewire itself.
I mean, it just kind of goes to show you like how much more capacity our brains have,
yeah.
right? Like if we could just kind of get out of our own way, and it
Oh
seems
yeah.
like psychedelic
Yeah, and
they
that's
open the
really what it
door.
is. You got to be able to look at yourself objectively like that, where you're
Mhm.
not judging yourself. You so you can see the truth of your actual situation and see why you're doing what you're doing. And
It is. It's a truth teller is really what
mhm.
it is. And I would say the biggest thing I've learned from it, because you have to do this to not have a bad trip, is how to surrender.
Mm.
Oh
How to
yeah, don't
surrender.
fight it, man.
Yeah,
It's like floating down a river. You got to just relax into it and let it take you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Mhm.
If you fight it, you're gonna drown.
I feel
It's
like I
just
hear that
like,
a lot. Yeah, that kind of concept of surrender. Ryan and Shelby, who run our liquid breathwork classes here, which I'm doing on Wednesday, they came on the show and talked. It's liquid breathwork isn't like somatic. It's kind of like a more gentler version of
okay.
breathwork.
There's a very guided meditation sort of aspect to it as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I felt hypnotized. I felt like in a very deep state of meditation the last time I did the class with them. But Ryan talks a lot about surrender. Like there's
Mm.
like this concept of surrender, and I feel like that's like constantly in my head now,
Well,
from all the people that I'm surrounding myself
I
with.
mean, honestly, I think that is like the number one lesson in life. Like if I didn't surrender to my reality,
Mm,
where I would be stuck in constant torture.
Yeah,
yeah.
you got
I
to let
would.
go.
You have to surrender to what is,
Hmm.
or you are tortured.
Yeah, the key to a happy existence is accepting the universe as it chooses to be.
Yeah, and not
That's a
labeling it
Taoist thing.
Yeah.
as
That's
good or
very Tao.
bad. Yeah, the thing that was the other thing with that second journey was like, oh, everything just is. It's not good or bad, it just is.
Right.
We
Mm,
create stories around everything, but it actually just is, and our perception is what creates reality.
Right. All those labels are artificial.
hmm.
The realness of things is what you find on these journeys you're taking. Yeah.
I knew
Oh my
Jeremy
God.
would love this conversation today.
Well,
I
I let go 15 years ago. I've been in a flow state for 15 years.
oh my
I've pretty
God.
much just been doing what feels right for the last
Yep.
15 years. I haven't
Yep.
had a real boss, a real job. I haven't waited for a paycheck. I do a job and I get paid. Like
Hmm. This is
sometimes it
where
takes 10 minutes.
that's what I'm doing now. I'm like, whatever the universe throws at me, I'll say
Yeah.
yes to. I'll surrender,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna yeah, try to make anything. I mean, the illusion of control is it's an illusion,
It's an
right?
illusion.
Yeah.
So
The
yeah.
the more actual control you think you have over your life, the more you're just lying to yourself.
Hmm.
You
Well,
know,
it's interesting.
anything can happen at any time.
Right. We have zero control over it. Like I
Yeah.
never would have thought this is my life, and here we are. And Noah's birthday was on Friday. He would have been 18, and I haven't finished integrating this last journey I had, and I am having some hangups with it. I think I need a little help. It was an LSD journey, and it really I told Noah before the journey, I was like, okay, buddy, show me where you are. Take me on a tour.
Mhm.
And I did a pretty high dose of LSD. And you know what happened? I didn't go anywhere. I was the most present I've ever been. I was clear. I wasn't altered. I was so present. Everything was light and crisp, and I was just there, and it felt blissful.
Mm.
I was in a bliss state in my yurt, just there. It was insane. I had just taken a ton of LSD and like I didn't go anywhere.
Huh.
It was so beautiful. And I thought, this is it. I don't need to go anywhere. It's here. Whatever we're looking for, it's not out there. It's literally right here, right now in presence.
Mm.
And that was huge. And it opened my
Yeah.
heart so much. My heart just, and that's been hard coming back into this society of like, like hierarchy and greed and like all these things. And I'm just like, how do I? So that's the integration
This
piece, right? This is,
Hmm.
yeah,
this is why the government doesn't want us to do LSD,
exactly. Well,
because it makes us
yeah.
realize that we don't need the government.
Hmm.
Like that's really why they don't like psychedelics, because it makes us very anti-control and
Mm.
anti-government, anti-structure like that.
Opening your mind.
It makes us realize we could just live our own lives and
And
we don't need
it
those
was
people.
legal. It was legal, and it was used therapeutically for
Yeah.
many years.
So like
And
the
then
1930s.
Mm.
the government got scared and they made it illegal again. But this is not new. This
Hmm.
is not new. That this is like a very uh, hopeful, and powerful method for people to open up and open their eyes and really see what's going on in their life and in the world. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. And in this breath work is blowing my mind too. This man just came from the Amazon to Portland. He's visiting for a week,
Hmm.
and he led this breathwork session. And I had not had one like this before. I've done several different kinds, but this was different. It's primordial breathwork. It was created by like the Amazonians, like have used it for
Oh, wow.
forever. And I connected with Noah in a way I have not been able to. And like normally Noah will drop impressions in my head and I'll kind of have thoughts, pop in. But I have not been able to have a conversation with him. And during this breath work, it was probably an hour and a half in. It was quite a long breath work session. And all of a sudden I was like, "Oh my God, you're there. We can have a conversation." He said, "Yeah, I'm here." And I was like, "Okay, what should we talk about?" And then I had this awareness, there's nothing to talk about. None of it matters. We're just together in love, like he's just
Yeah.
with me in loving energy and I'm with him in loving energy. And that is all that matters. Like nothing else does. And I've been grasping for like, I just want to talk to you. Just show yourself, and like, it was so clear to me. I don't need that. I don't
Yeah.
need that anymore. Yeah.
Mm. I
Well,
love,
that's the healing process, right?
yeah. And I love that,
That you've
like,
both come to peace with where you're at,
yeah,
kind of
that
thing.
you have these opportunities, right? That you have these moments. Can you imagine if you didn't?
You know
Can you
what?
imagine?
No. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And this is why I actually I haven't, it's in beginning stages, but this work has been very expensive for me. And
Hmm.
thank God I have savings. But I would say for just myself, I've spent about $15,000 on the psychedelic
Wow.
work in the past year.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm in
and
the
that's
wrong
not
business.
accessible. Yeah. It's not okay. Like there are so many other grieving parents that I know
Yeah.
could benefit from this and they can't afford it.
Yeah.
And um
That's
yeah.
really unfortunate. Yeah. People should have
Mhm.
access to this stuff.
Yeah, we'd be a lot healthier in mind and body and soul and all those things if we could just get people
And
connected with
really,
the right kind of care, right? The right kind of support that they need.
and just and even regulate it. But to me, it plays into the whole concept of, I mean, your story is such a perfect example for this. Let's get rid of those pills that we don't even really understand what the hell they're doing to people,
Yep.
and replace them with these psychedelics that we know how they work, and
Yep.
you get them from the doctor and you do it
Exactly.
in the clinic,
Yes.
and you still can't
Because
just go buy it at the store. You still can't just do it on your own. That's fine. As much as I
yes.
think we should be able to do that,
Yeah.
at least make it available through the doctors,
A
you know?
thousand percent. And I've been
'Cause-
microdosing for 3 or 4 months now. After I did my psilocybin journey, I microdose. I started microdosing, and that has been transformational for me as well.
Mm.
Um, I feel more clear-headed. I feel more connected, just to the world.
Hmm.
Where I can easily start to feel a little disconnected and like depressed. I would say the the journeys have for sure decreased my flashbacks, my PTSD symptoms. That was my main goal going in. That's why I
Mm.
started doing it. Now I feel like it's
Got
like a
way
like,
more out of it,
yeah,
obviously. Yep.
yeah. Now I'm like, tell me all the messages, universe. I just love it. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful every time. It's so impactful. And
Uh,
but yeah, so the microdosing, instead of antidepressants, the microdosing is so beautiful, and it's natural, and you don't have to. There's no withdrawal. There's no like, oh, if I missed a day, I might feel suicidal.
There's
There's
no
no
addiction either.
there's no
You
addiction.
can
There's
just
no
stop doing it and you're
overdosing.
not going to.
mm.
Yeah,
Do you think like obviously you've been going about this doing the MDMA, the psilocybin, all the different kind of journeys that you've been on. Do you feel like the intensity of those in terms of maybe just like how often you're doing it will kind of taper off at some point, or is that kind of how it's supposed to work and then it becomes kind of maintenance?
yeah,
Um,
I think so. From what I like have seen with other people, they might do one or two a year. I was
okay.
doing one every like 2 months for this past year, and
Okay.
even now I feel like, okay, I think I can slow down and really, really integrate everything. And,
Mhm.
but I don't, it's such a gift every time that I don't want to stop doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I keep thinking inside of
Yeah.
me is like, I think I wouldn't want to either because to be able, being a mom, I've got two boys who through your trauma and loss, I look at so very, especially Zane, because they're really close in age.
Yeah.
And I'm like so close with him. And I can't imagine never not being able to have that. And I would do anything to, right?
Hmm.
So I get it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
keep doing it too.
It
And
really
this is
does
what,
kind of depend on the person too, though, because like I have a buddy with military grade PTSD who started doing just microdoses of psilocybin. That's it. And after like a week, he was like, "Oh my God, I think I'm okay." And he does a microdose every day,
hmm
and for him that's perfect. I like to do, like you just said, like twice a year. I do a little
hmm
more of that than that at a time, but I
hmm
like about twice a year. I
yeah.
either go into the woods or I go to a concert for some live music,
hmm
and I have myself a little ceremony, and I come out feeling so much better,
hmm
like so much better. The last 6 months of stress is gone, you know. But
Because you just feel
that's why you
connected
need
again. Yeah.
right. But if you want to get into it fresh, that's why you do need yourself a bit of a shaman, some kind
hmm
of guide
Like
to
your
show
guide.
you the different ways and the different levels and
Yes.
what to expect and how to actually go
Okay.
through it. And then once
Mhm.
you experience it you'll know, oh, okay, so I'm more of a microdose or I'm more of a
Mhm.
macrodose.
And even
And
which psychedelic, because some
right.
people are like, "Oh, yeah, LSD makes me really not I don't have a good trip on that," or
Yeah.
whatever,
Mhm.
I think
and
the friendliest one is the psilocybin. A
that's what
microdose
I'm
of
most scared of
psilocybin.
too.
Mhm.
It well, it's a weird drug because it really depends on dose. If you do just a little
Right.
bit, like a microdose of psilocybin, literally just turns on your happy switch. You're not
Yeah.
going to get much else except you're going to smile more and laugh easier, kind of thing, for a while. If you do like 3+ grams of psilocybin, that's going to the other side. That's a full on
Showing me
hallucinogenic
the messages.
journey. Like
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
a different world. Like there's a certain threshold of psilocybin where once you go past that, it's a different experience. It's kind of like the ketamine,
Okay.
where if you get it from Dr. Casey, it's a psychedelic thing. If you go to the
Mhm.
hospital for surgery, they give it to you and it's a whole different level because they're
Right.
full on knocking you out for a while and like
Yeah.
uh so it's like a different kind of trip, lasts longer and more intense and things like that, but it's like a whole different experience.
Yeah.
So you got to know your doses. You got to know what drugs you're dealing with. You got to know your doses. And,
Mhm.
go into it wise. So because it's the people who have the bad trips go into it not knowing what they're doing, and
Mhm.
they take too much of the wrong thing, and they do it in the wrong situation, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden all goes bad.
Yeah.
You know.
And the thing I say too is, I don't know if this is just a Portland thing, but teenagers are experimenting with psychedelics just like they are other drugs. And we need to open the conversation around them, because if we're kind of like gatekeeping this information about like how to do it safely, how to get, how to access it and make sure that it's clean and what you
Yeah.
should be taking and how to do it
Mm.
safely. Like these kids are going to have bad trips and that can be, that can be traumatizing to some extent.
Mhm.
And so I just really like, I am writing this third book on my psychedelic experiences, research behind it, the history behind it. And I want it to come from somebody like me because I'm like, listen, I'm a mom. I have a PhD.
Mhm.
I've lived in suburbia for like the longest time.
You have a business
I
too,
have a
you got Yo
business
Massage.
and
Yep.
I've had this trauma. And this
Yeah.
is how it has transformed my life. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
some wackadoo or whatever.
Right.
Like, this is very
Yeah.
transformational. I did my research and I've
Mhm.
done it responsibly, and
Yeah.
I want more people to know about it.
Yeah.
And there's even more applications. I got another friend who had cluster headaches, chronic cluster headaches, kind of like migraines.
Mhm. I used to
And
have
he
those.
researched it and he found that you can break the cycle of your chronic headaches with psilocybin. When he felt one coming on, like before it actually hit, you got to like get a little ahead of it. You take just like it was basically a microdose that he was
Uh-huh.
taking.
Hmm.
And I think it was like 3 times in a row he caught it. And
Mhm.
like the psilocybin literally like stopped the headache from happening. And he did a few times in a row and then they just stopped. And it was like, and he used to get them all the time. And then like a year later, he felt it coming back and he did the same thing. And like a couple years later, but like he basically cured. It comes back around a little bit sometimes, but he basically cured his chronic headaches with psilocybin.
Hmm.
Like there's so many applications to this. We don't even know because they won't do the research because they don't want to legalize it or
Hmm.
turn it into official medicine.
Yeah. There's an organization called MAPS. I would
I
encourage.
was just gonna say Maps. Yes, I know who they are. I want them to come on the show.
Oh
What's
my gosh,
I
that'd be so cool.
Yeah, I know. They've been on my list. I found out about them actually at the Dead and Company shows at the Sphere that I went to because they had four nonprofits that you could choose to like donate to. And I stood there talking to them forever. I
what
was
is
like,
MAPS?
what does it stand
They
for?
they're the I don't know what it stands for, but
I could never remember it either,
it's
but
a
yeah, they're
psychedelic advocacy. So they're the
yep.
ones who've been pushing through the research on MDMA, which almost was
Hmm.
legalized federally about a year ago, and then the pharmaceutical companies made sure that didn't happen.
Of
Of course.
course.
As
Yeah, but
soon
they
as they
had
can
done.
synthesize it and patent it and make $1 billion off it, we'll
Then
get
they'll
it.
be okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was almost there because they had done a lot of clinical trials. MAPS had sponsored, had raised funds, and had these clinical trials done. So MAPS is a great advocacy organization for psychedelics and MDMA,
Hmm.
therapeutically, to be used therapeutically. So
Cool.
yeah, they're great, and I don't know where else to get information. I mean, there are tons of studies. There really are because the VA actually has used some of this for
Hmm.
PTSD and
Read Terrence McKenna.
The
Gods.
there
Michael Pollan just wrote some books
Michael
on the
Pollan.
whole
oh, Michael Pollan, yeah,
thing with
he's
psychedelics in your brain.
well, there was something on the news not that long ago. It was like NBC News. It was like something big, and it was all of these veterans that were down in, I believe, Costa Rica or something. And it was about their experiences with using psychedelics. They were there for a week. All of them had various levels of PTSD, from being in combat and whatnot. Um, and they were all just like, wow, for the most part. I think there might have been like one person that was like, yep, nope, that's not for me, which that's fine, right? That happens.
Statistically, it's gonna,
Not for everyone. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, my friend I was
Yeah.
talking about who's on the ayahuasca retreat right now in Utah, which is not her first one. She's a veteran as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is some of her PTSD stems from that. So yeah, she would fall into that category. So, yeah, hopefully I can get her to come on the show and talk about all of her
Um,
all of her
it,
experiences. So, yeah.
it really is a public health thing. I mean, for soldiers, for parents who have lost children, like the rate of early death is like it's like 3 times as high, and it's
Hmm.
it's just if we really want to help people and care about their suffering, this is a really promising avenue. And to
Hmm.
withhold it and not have it available is unconscionable, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
criminal. It really
It's
is.
criminal. It is criminal. If I didn't have access to this, I do not know if I would be alive. I know I said that before and I really mean it. I do not know. This trauma is so severe. Like, how am I supposed to live if I didn't have these ahas and awakenings and my mind opening and my heart opening and the self-compassion and all of it? Like, I don't know how that would have
Hmm.
happened,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm not shy about talking
Hmm.
about it. I'm so glad you guys are having this podcast, and
Yeah.
yeah, I want to get the word out.
We think it's important. I've worked in the healthcare industry for a long time, and I've seen a lot of people not be served by it
Hmm.
for a lot of different reasons. Yeah, there's so many things that are not right. And then there's something like this that gives people such a pathway to hope and life and, being able to thrive again, right? Like, and not
Yeah,
fall apart. And, you can still, where you're at right now. I mean, looking how successful you are, considering what you went through, and that was what has saved you.
and
I
it's
think,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's not like, yeah, you don't just take it and you're better. It is the integration piece that's
Mhm.
critical too, like the really processing what your messages were and what you got from it. And that's why the soul workbook, like that's what how I see this being used is like after after a psychedelic journey, this it's like super short. There's like 5 page, it's like on control or fear or surrendering or suffer, connection with your own innate like somatic wisdom, like all of these things, and then like integration prompts, because if you don't have a person like I had, or you can't afford to do all the sessions with a person like I had, there's got to be stuff like this to help you like integrate it, and really use it so that you can live your
Hmm.
life and not feel like
Yeah.
you want to have to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Hmm.
Um,
Before
oh,
we wrap it up,
yeah.
because I know you were about to say that, I just realized I missed a question I really have to cover. The frog poison.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
You said he gave it to you in preparation for the MDMA journey. So
Um,
I'm just wondering the actual effect and application of the actual frog
yes.
poison that you're using.
So, yeah, it was actually before my LSD journey that he
Oh,
wanted to use that, because it's a purification. It opens you up to be able to, yeah, just receive more. And so you just, you burn tiny, tiny little holes in your skin, and you apply the frog poison to the holes, and it makes you immediately um, be very sick. And you throw up. You drink a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
water. You drink like 2 liters of water right before, and you throw up. You might, I don't know, I've done it 3 times, and each time has been different. But there's a really amazing like clarity that comes to you afterwards.
Hmm.
And it might be about something you didn't think you even needed to,
Hmm.
have clarity on, but it has its own innate wisdom.
well,
The combo does. It's spelled KAMBO.
so it's like a really fast effect kind of thing.
Immediate, and then within an hour, it's done,
It's
and
almost
your
like a DMT sort of thing.
I was just gonna say, yeah, that sounds almost
Different, but
DMT-like.
different, but in the same genre, it sounds
your
like.
your face swells up like a frog,
Oh,
Well,
really?
Yeah.
you start going, "Rrr, rrr, rrr."
Your voice gets real deep too.
No way. Okay, that's
Yeah.
so
I
crazy.
got to put this on my bucket list.
Okay, he's got a psychedelic bucket
Come
list
to
going.
Portland.
There's
I'll
not too many I haven't
Yeah,
tried.
you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go up to Portland and
All right.
get with her.
show you the
I've been
ways.
wanting to get up there anyway, just gives me another reason.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad you asked that question because we did forget to go back and talk about that, and
Yeah, I'm really glad I remembered that.
that's a new one. That's a new one. Yeah, and I'm always the time checker. Sorry, that's my job.
We went long, didn't we?
Oh,
Yeah.
we always do.
That's
Well, the good
okay.
conversations are worth going long.
Yeah, it totally is. And I think there's so much to cover here. But before we let you go, I do want to, and we'll put this in the show notes too. I want to mention you've got 2 books. So you have Noah Grant's Hope, 231 Days of a Mother's Transformation, much of what we've been talking about here, which is
Yes.
great. And then the soul work, a field guide
To freedom.
to freedom. Those are the two that you have now. You've got a third one you're working on, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Um, when that's out there, we'll have to like retro go back and add it to the show notes. You have a link, so we have a
Oh,
link to
no,
the
we'll
Yeah.
just have her back on so she can talk about the book.
or yeah, that's true. We
Well,
can just have you back on because we do like to bring people back.
Yeah.
But before we close out, though, you have learned a lot. You have obviously explored parts of your mind and your soul and the universe. That's so cool, by the way. I'm feeling less scared about psychedelics now that I've talked to you about it. But what kind of
I'm a
wisdom?
good guide if
Yeah.
you want to go.
What kind of wisdom would you want to share with our listeners about kind of everything that you've learned and I don't
mhm.
know. I just feel like you have some in there that you've already even
Yeah.
shared it, but
Well, I mean, I just think this is what I keep saying. I have two things that have just been on repeat for me since Noah passed. And one is get real. Let's just be real. Let's be real with each other. Let's be real about what's going on. Let's be real about what's helping, what's not helping, how we're feeling. Um, with suicide, especially, Mm, yeah, we just don't wanna talk about it, and, we don't wanna talk about the depths of our pain, and there are a lot of people who have these thoughts and have these feelings. It is not uncommon. It's not, and if we can
mhm,
talk about it, the pressure cooker kinda releases a little bit of the pressure, and we can yeah, I just wrote a post about this the other day, and yeah, you can Dr. Tiffany Ryan on Instagram, like, I post a lot about all
mhm,
of this stuff, but the the key is most people who attempt suicide will then act on it, like, 5 minutes to 3 hours after they've had the thought, and so if we can actually say the thought out loud to someone who is not gonna react like, crazy, who's gonna sit there and be with us
mhm.
and
Yeah.
listen to us, or even just be, not listen if you don't even wanna talk, just be until that intensity passes. Now we have the window of opportunity for the deep work, and that's my second thing. So get real, be real. Let's just be freaking real with each other, people. Have the
Hmm.
conversations, and then it's the deep work. We cannot mask it with pills and 50-minute therapy sessions where we vent. Like that is not the way. I feel very strongly that is not the way. And whether psychedelics are your entry point into the deeper work or not, the deeper work has to happen. And
Hmm.
that's why I wrote Soul Work. Like it has to happen or
Yeah.
you will continue to suffer. People
And
will be suffering.
yeah, and it doesn't have to be psychedelics. It can be psychotherapy
No.
and with the right
Yeah.
Hmm.
doctor and just it can be primal scream therapy. It can,
Liquid
I
breath
mean,
work, like we've
liquid
been
breath
doing,
work.
or
Like
breath somatic,
you got to
both of them.
find what works for you, but you have to find what works for you,
Sound
or you're
therapy.
never going to get to work through it. Yeah.
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 That's a great message to put out there is I mean maybe it's not this, but you got to find something
Hmm.
There's
because
some there's
if you don't deal with it, it's just going to eat you alive.
Mhm. Yeah, and community is so important with that, and so finding your community of whoever is dealing with it the way you're dealing with it or
Hmm.
doing the inquiry the way you wanna do the inquiry, like, that's so important, and, yeah, those are my 2 things.
Perfect. So
Nice.
great notes to end on. Thank you so much for coming on. This has
Awesome.
been an extremely and I thought I knew a lot about what was going on. I feel like even your posts have been so revealing and open and very honest and vulnerable, but I feel like now talking to you, like I really get it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't put as much detail about the psychedelic work, like, I'll talk about my ahas, but not the details of the actual, like, experience,
yeah,
but, there it's profound,
it
so
is. And
yeah.
the more we talk about it, the less stigma there will be, and more
Mhm.
people hopefully will literally open their minds to doing this kind of work for themselves. So,
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
exactly, I love the stigma lifting, yeah,
Oh
for
yeah.
sure. It's great.
Definitely. Awesome. Well,
Well,
thank you again. Yeah, this is,
thank
I'm
you
so
both.
glad.
Yeah,
So
love
glad you came on.
Thanks for joining us on the Healthcare Uprising. Make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons before you go, and take a moment to think of a friend and hit that share button. You can find us on all the major audio platforms, and we've got video on YouTube and Patreon, patreon.com/healthcareuprising, if you want to watch us in action.
You can also find us on social media on LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search Healthcare Uprising to find us. And if you're a new company or a creator with a cool new product for the healthcare space, or if you're someone with a personal healthcare journey and you'd like to share it with us here at The Uprising, please email us at healthcareuprising@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you about coming on the show. That's all for this dose of Healthcare Uprising. Till the next time, keep looking for the good in the world, because sometimes it's where you least expect it.
This has been a Shut Up production.